So this morning I've asked Richard to share some of his original music with us. Richard came to India from Trinidad. Met him at Govardhan Eco Village, along with Johnny and Deepti, who are also on the call, and many others, and then came to Mayapur for the Mayapur retreat. And I've requested a specific song that I just think is perfect for today.
Though I walk through the valley of shadow, I know that I won't be walking alone, because you lead me on the road of life everlasting, the light of my soul. Though I walk through the valley of shadow, I know that I won't be walking alone, because you lead me on the road of life everlasting, light of my soul. Though I walk through the valley of shadow, I know that I won't be walking alone, because you lead me on the road of life everlasting, light of my soul. Though I walk through the valley of shadow, I know that I won't be walking alone, because you lead me on the road of life everlasting, the light of my soul. Oh, 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 though I walk through the valley of shadow, I know that I won't be walking alone, because you lead me on the road of life everlasting, light of my soul. Though I walk through the valley of shadow, I know that I won't be walking alone, because you lead me on the road of life everlasting, light of my soul.
Oh. maybe we can just sit quietly now and just soak that all in. What a beautiful offering. It was perfect. We have this sense, don't we, when something inspires us, we offer ourselves to it and it moves through us. For me anyway, when I in particular hear Richard singing these songs of his own composition, that it's inspired by the light of what I would call Christ. And it's so comforting. Can you sense it, that it's clear when something comes through us or for us through another? Something sacred. And so we can say, thank you for the offering. It's the kind of thing that doesn't really want applause, is it? It wants to be absorbed in a stillness that follows such a beautiful animation of divinity. like a prayer. So thank you. So beautiful. Have you thought about this before, what it means? Maybe you're familiar with the line in the Bible, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil." And this is such a comforting voice in this world of shadows and reflections. We've talked about the world being a mirror, reflected light with shadows. And how we can be beset by fear and anxiety. The ambitions of me and mine that bring us suffering. And there's one line in particular that just really struck me, which is, "Light of my soul." Now maybe you've heard this expression before, I have not, but it's perfect. It's exactly how it is. The original light in this Christian tradition, the Christ light, maybe instead of Christian tradition, I should say biblical offering, just to be a little bit more precise. Light of my soul, that even this I sense, this me personality, is a fragment of that. It's a fragment of a reflected light, belonging only to that, but somehow imbued with this I sense to move through the world. Through a world created also by the same light. The light not distinguishing between me and other. And even to come into contact with a song or a verse, a teaching, to come into some even early notion of there being something called light that would help us see and navigate more clearly is very comforting. And so it's beautiful, and it is inspires inspiration itself and hope. And also, it's true. True as the tip of your own nose. To be experienced just like that. As true to you as your right hand is. To be experienced like that. Natural. And so, when we are blessed to come into contact with the early fragrance of this by saying, even just the earliest scent of it is such a blessing. And when you catch the scent, follow it. I think in one recent satsang, I was mentioning a song that I remember really liking in church when I was a little boy. How does it go? I go before you always. Come follow me, and I will give you rest. That this light always precedes us. The light of the soul, it precedes us and guides us. When you come into contact with it, and it's just a felt sense, isn't it, of something, you could call it sacred or sublime, numinous, ephemeral, but there's something to it, isn't there, that you can't quite say? Follow this. This is the process of turning from the reflected light of other and world and me and mine even, and a turn, a reorientation to original light. It doesn't come from above. To be sure, we can have this experience of it descending upon us, and this experience is ecstatic, blissful, and beautiful, as if being under a shower of golden love. So it can feel as though it's coming from above and descending. And descending on and into the body. And also, truly, it comes from inside, not from above. How does it say? If it came from above you, the birds in the sky would precede you. Something like this. Truly, this light comes from within. And the first looking, the first turning away from the reflected light, inward, all we find at first is total darkness and confusion and fear. And so it's scary. In an old village, a man loses his key, and there's total darkness in his hut at night. And he's searching everywhere for the key, but he can't find it on all fours. And so finally he goes out onto the street underneath the street lamp and starts looking. And a man comes up, he says, "What are you looking for? Can I help?" He says, "Yes, I dropped my key, I'm looking for it." "Where did you drop it?" "Inside my hut." So first, when we are looking for the key, it's dark. We're blind. And the light of the lamppost seems somehow more comforting. Even can seem to us more practical, as absurd as it is. But in this darkness, and residing there, finding comfort there, you will find light. It will reveal itself. For some years when I was living at Yogaville, every morning I'd get up early and I'd come up to Amma's house. Amma is like the ashram great mother and a powerful Christian mystic and just a loving mother. Nobody really knows how old she is, but I'll guess she's somewhere in her 90s. And I'd go there every morning to meditate and drink coffee and talk. And some nights, the porch light would be left on. And all of the insects, the moths and bugs and everything that was attracted to that light would be just scattered on the ground, dead. From exhaustion. And I would grab the broom and sweep them up. And why is it that a moth is attracted to light? And what's different when a moth comes into contact with an actual flame, the fire? You see, the moth, somehow absurdly drawn to the flame, is consumed by the flame, and the moth itself becomes light. And the moth that came into contact with flame, surely there must have been some regret for a moment. Some pain, even. But where is this moth now? Or where is this moth not? But the moth chasing the light of man, electric light, reflected light, recycled light, it is exhausted and dies to be reborn and to chase the light again and again and again, exhausted. Because it never makes contact, but keeps chasing it. But you see, it's funny because this reflected light of man through electricity and light bulb, let's just say it's oil refined and turned into electricity or some dam, but anything, the whole thing, you can trace all energy back to the light of the sun. Yes? So even this reflected light, its source is that. So when you pick up the scent, when you feel the heat, when you have that felt sense of this, come closer. It might hurt a little, but a lot less than the exhaustion of chasing a life in reflected light and shadows. And the good news is, when we make contact with this, the world of light and shadow itself changes. Proportionally, little by little, something called fearlessness begins to arise. Something like joy. All of this, Richard, is in your beautiful song. And if I could sing like that, I'd be doing it now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Love you so much. What a great honor. We're going to, I want to put you in touch with Richard's music also. So we'll put something maybe on the Satsang WhatsApp or something. We can point people to his Spotify, something like this. Yeah. And as good as it is on Zoom, much better live. Okay. Welcome to Satsang. I was having some exchange yesterday in text messages with some of our Sangha. And a couple of people said that they've been inviting friends. And what a delight. And so I welcome you all. I haven't seen your faces yet, which is fine. But I just am delighted to feel you here with us and welcome. And I said to one, I said, all are welcome. And I'm so happy to have anyone and everyone join us, as long as you never feel obliged. This has been kind of a mantra for me. All are welcome, none are obliged. So each one must know, come and go as you wish. Of course, this isn't permission I need to give anybody. You already have that implicitly. But I want to share with you that this is how it is that I'm engaging in this, offering this, is freely. So, welcome, welcome. Who has something for us?
Nataraj.
Um,
So when you were speaking about the moths, this week I read something I wanted to ask you to reflect upon that I've been thinking about with Swami Vivekananda. He said, eternal progress is eternal bondage. How many days will you be a seeker? Will you never be a finder? And it's been in my heart and my mind, and I would love to hear you speak about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjani Ma. Before you mute, would you read that for us one more time?
Eternal progress is eternal bondage. How many days will you be a seeker? Will you never be a finder?
And yet seeking is so important, isn't it? Especially when it really dins in us that we've been looking in the wrong direction. When it finally really clicks that all the things I've been trying to draw happiness from have limitations, and there are always diminishing returns. And so then you turn and you seek the other direction. Inward, of course. And this is essential. And progress in this is essential. But it's not at all necessary. Have you heard it said, what you are looking for is already where you are looking from? Sit with this. Especially if you've heard it before. What you are looking for is already where you are looking from. How can the eye that sees be seen? It's very practical. You stand in front of the mirror and you see your two eyes. But they aren't your eyes, are they? Nope. They're reflections. And looking back at you, left is right and right is left, isn't it? So it's in part distorted, inverted. Because the eye can never see itself, you see? I had this marvelous vision as I was contemplating this for the very first time, sitting on my couch in Bethesda, Maryland. Very practical, very sort of obvious. So the vision was this. I am floating in space, contented, no problem. Neither hot nor cold, no problem with breathing, right? It's just comfortable, everything is fine. And I am reduced to an eye, an eyeball, a single eyeball, also no problem. No hands, just an eyeball. Meaning really no sense of self other than knowingness, perception. And I turn and look at the sun. And I see light. Yes? And I move closer to the sun so that there is nothing but light. So I know there's light. Now you turn and you see planets. Let's just say in this visual, there aren't any other stars. But you see the reflected light of sun on the planets, and you know the planets do not have a light of their own. They are the reflected light of the sun. And now the planets disappear. The sun is still there, but the planets now are not. And so, what do you perceive? Total darkness. You see? And so now ask that the light of the sun is not reflected by any object. Is there darkness? Do you want to turn and just double check to make sure the sun is still there? Go ahead. That light of the sun is still there. You can't perceive it. The instant an object appears, you will see it will be illuminated. Is it reasonable to say that there is no such thing as darkness? Is there anywhere in the universe where light isn't? I'm not an astrophysicist, but even a black hole. Everybody now knows a black hole is said to have such incredible gravity that it draws even light in. And so a black hole isn't actually black, isn't it? It must be the brightest thing in the universe. If it is attracting all light that passes it, then it must be so bright. But to us it seems black. This is evidence, a manifest movement, expression of the original light of consciousness which illumines sun itself. Is the light of the sun itself. So the seeker can travel to so many planets. It's true, actually. Without leaving their meditation cushion. But wherever this seeker may go, however advanced, however many cities are developed, still seeking, if this light originates from within, where can you go? Where can you go to find it? And also, where can you go that it isn't there? That it didn't already precede you going? You see? So, it's essential to seek. Let's see what this says. Seeking and finding, a false dichotomy. Is seeking and finding a false dichotomy? Perhaps it's a process or journey. Perhaps dichotomy loses nuance that doesn't honor process or reaching. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Have you heard? It's nice to have a canoe to cross the river, but having crossed, you wouldn't want to drag it across the land. Seeking is necessary for a time. Because each one must come honestly to their own direct experience, their own direct conclusion that seeking outside, even seeking inside with some ambition of finding, it must fall away. It will. And also, if you take that and know it intellectually and give up, it doesn't work. This is called denial and delusion. So what to say? You certainly couldn't prescribe it for anyone else. Good luck even figuring it out for yourself. My master Muji says, the effortless takes effort, and the timeless takes time. And this is how it is. When you are a seeker, seek. When you come to the intersection where there is recognition that what you're seeking was never lost. That you will never find I in reflection, the original I. And each one at this point will sit under their proverbial Bodhi tree. For each of us, it will come to stillness, to quietude. Where even now the reflected light in the mind eyes closed, but still the scattered sense of reflected echoes of past light troubling us. This also will attenuate, subside. Total darkness, out of which it always reminds me of, there's a cartoon, Jiminy Cricket in the belly of the Leviathan, of the whale, and he lights a match. I also read some years ago that Jiminy Cricket was JC, code for Jesus Christ. I don't know if this is true or not. So it's a bit of a... I was giggling when you were reading the Vivekananda quote because it's a bit dastardly. I believe it's a Zen quote, if that's even a thing, which is, if you haven't started seeking, don't start. If you have, don't stop. Oh. If this is your first satsang ever, run away. Some people are laughing knowingly. No, you know what? The truth of it is that the frustrations, the challenges, the suffering in chasing the things of the world is never ending. And it doesn't matter what degree of success we achieve. You'll lose it. Everything consumed of the world is perishable. This isn't a problem. Unless, of course, you continue to chase and consume things, seeking happiness that can't offer it. This isn't some sort of like hell and brimstone, you know? I mean, these analogies of the valley of shadow of death are nice to give us a sense of how it feels to be in it, but truly it's not actually a problem. This is a very hard thing for somebody to hear that is very much entangled in it. Because to this one, it's very much a problem, isn't it? And this is honest and important and must be honored as honest, valued even as honest. But it's not true. It's not true. Feels true, not true. It'll tear our hearts out, bring us to our knees. This much I know. Is it good news or bad news? It's a question worth asking yourself. Do I take it as good news that life is but a dream? Or do I find it an assault on my sense of right and wrong? I'm not saying you should think one way or the other, but find that and investigate. Because at first, truly, it is offensive and disturbing. I'm well aware that some of these things I say can be perceived as offensive and disturbing. And it's true, this satsang is not for everyone. But if you're ready and you're seeking truth, then this is part of the experience, that it is at first offensive and disturbing, and then maybe you'll see the hint of the good news in it. And it's like this. The truth is completely offensive to the ego. It is completely offensive to anyone who wants to claim high ground or low ground, victor or victim. Totally offensive. This is completely offensive to anyone who wants to cling to their beliefs and their opinions. This is totally offensive for anyone who has a sense of the inherent rightness of chasing happiness in the world. And this is not a problem. It's not a problem that anyone would be offended. There is nothing here in the way of promotion or debate. Nothing to sell. And the other thing that comes to mind in hearing the quote from Swami Vivekananda, who, by the way, if you haven't read the complete works and you're into Jnana Yoga, this is an incredible series of texts. But anyway, what comes to mind is the seeker never finds. There's no such thing as an enlightened moth. You want to talk about offensive to the ego. All of this effort, and I don't even get to be the one who is enlightened. And yet, there is a sense that this is something that is very intimate, personal, embodied, in the world, engaged enthusiastically. But detached, but enthusiastic. Different than excited, you see. Beyond this, I don't myself know. I have inference, I guess you could say. And obviously, what Swami Vivekananda says is absolutely true. Muji's guru, called Papaji from Lucknow, India, he was always saying, call off the search. Because this I am is I am. Where would you find it? And somehow it requires effort. Somehow seeking is essential. How many people have you met in your spiritual wanderings claiming to be enlightened or enlighteneder in teaching where there's no question asked? There's so much. And we'll all fall into it. A sort of a spiritual delusion. I've arrived. But here again, when you come into contact with spiritual paradox, now you know you're in the right arena. Both and neither. Ma, did this help? Was okay?
It's okay. Thank you.
a new question. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
So in this reaching, I feel like it's like peeling an onion. And that when I am at rest in this journey, there's areas that are still informed by ego or holding on in some superior or judgmental position. And that's why I feel like it never ends. This peeling and peeling and peeling. It feels like it never ends. So I wonder what you might have to say about that.
Yes. Yes. That's right. Is never ending a different way of saying everlasting? It has a different connotation. So, the layers of the onion are peeled away and then discarded, yes? And then the inner parts of the onion are now exposed to the all, the light, the air, the world. So drilling in deeper, there's a sense of expansiveness, isn't there? We're having so much fun with paradox today. When you drill in, the infinity is deep. It's in the teeny, teeny, tiny, is the most expansive. The heart of the heart of the heart of the onion is the totality itself. The biggest in the smallest. And the heart of the heart of the heart has a heart.
It feels never ending.
What does come to an end is suffering. What comes to an end is ignorance. What comes to an end is misidentification. Attachment to the experiencer, to the body and mind, to the drama. But there's no problem with it. You read a book, you love the hero character. You might even cry along with some of her trials and tribulations, cheer for her victories. But in deep meditation, the world disappears. But it isn't a problem. It never was. I heard again recently that something happens to astronauts when they see Earth from space. It's just a total shift in their perspective on Earth and humanity, countries and boundaries and wars. That something shifts when you see the Earth as a totality, Because on earth, we're limited to the horizon. And mental understanding is not enough, is it? But once you cross that comma line, after the great ascent out of gravity into what they call weightlessness, and see the earth as a sphere, something shifts in them. An understanding, direct experience of understanding. And a great compassion and a love. A desire for the end of suffering, but also a relative sense of this has always been this way. I'm taking some liberties for the supposed astronaut now to make my point. But this is how it is with your sense of you. You're already, all of you experience this daily, so take note. There is an I sense and a me sense. There are, Muji tells this story, and also Rukmini told it recently. Also, there are two birds in a tree, one bird on a high branch and one bird on a lower branch. And the bird on the higher branch simply watches. The bird on the lower branch flies around, eats worms, gathers twigs, builds a nest, finds a mate, lays eggs, hatches, fledglings fly off, doing it again and again. So busy. And the top bird just watches. There is a direct experience of being in the world, but not of it, not wound up in it. Seeing globally, acting locally.
Yeah. I think the tension is that there's seems to be always new experiences on the path that I wasn't aware of before. And it's not suffering. It just feels like a new awareness of something. And, oh my God, I didn't know that was there.
Yes.
And the struggle is just to stay out of judgment about that when it arises.
And this is the law of the everything, is that everything that is hidden will be revealed. Everything in you that is hidden will be revealed for your own benefit, to bring you closer and closer to the sense of I am illimitable. And so every friction is for this kind of erosion of a polishing of the one who is limited and suffers. And so know this, everything in you that is hidden will be revealed.
I guess I felt like if you peel the onion, you get to the center and there'd be nothing. And I find it has a quality of infinite feeling.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. There's a sense of an infinitely pregnant nothing. A sense of I without any object of reference. in this, the world does not exist. This sense that each one in time will experience, at first in what we call meditation, now will be either in the background or in the foreground of your experience as you're navigating through your day, speaking, cooking, driving. And you're just like tuning. You just... But this, this infinity is infinite. This never-ending is everlasting. To the heard with the ears of the one who suffers, this sounds awful. Heard with the ears of the one who needs entertainment, distraction, sounds boring. But it's neither of these things. Maybe worth exploring. What's the difference in your own heart to never-ending and everlasting? And I know, Alethea, when you say never-ending, the connotation I hear is everlasting. Yes. But is it for each one? Because each one of us, it'll be a little bit different, so see for yourself. Richard, can we get "Let There Be More"?
May there be love where there is sadness. May solace come. May there be peace, Lord, where there is war. Where there is love, may there be more. 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 Where there is darkness, may light be shown. Where there is anguish, may hope be born. Where there is doubt, may you be sure. Where there is love, may there be more. 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 When you are lonely, may comfort be. When you are burdened, may you be free. And may you find searching for. Yeah, where there is love, oh, may there be more. 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 Where there is hatred, may there be love. Where there is sadness, may solace come. And may there be peace, Lord, where there is war. Where there is love, may there be more.
One of the final days when we were all with Radhanath Swami at Govardhan Eco Village. Maharaj had this way of appearing out of nowhere. He could be upon you, sneak up behind you, and he did this to a whole big group of us, 100 or more, and Richard happened to have his guitar. And he sang this, played and sang this song for Maharaji. And there's a video of it somewhere, isn't there?
I think Johnny just sent a link.
Johnny just sent the link, perfect. It was such a beautiful moment, and so thank you. So thank you all. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. And truly, truly, thank you for coming to Satsang. This is what the world needs from you. More than anything. More than anything you can do, this is what the world needs from you now. Doesn't need to be this satsang, but be in satsang. Please. And whatever satsang you go to, bring as many that will follow. Please. So, yesterday was like the first day of prolonged repose in some months, and it was delightful. And we'll be back on the regular satsang schedule now. Thank you all for your patience. And I think Krishna Priya shared some of the satsang videos from the Mayapur retreat. Such beautiful moments with you there, my goodness. So we'll be back on the regular schedule and updates on the WhatsApp. And again, you're welcome to invite and bring as many people with you as you like, and make sure that we have nothing to sell and there should never be any sense of obliged to come. Okay. Om Om. Thank you, thank you.
There is hatred, may there be love. There is sadness, may solace come. May there be peace, Lord, where there is hope, where there is love. May there be more. 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 Where there is darkness, may light be shone. Where there is anguish, may hope be born. Where there is doubt, may you be sure. Where there is love, may there be more. 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 When you are lonely, may comfort be. When you are burdened, may you be free. And may you find all you're searching for. Where there is love, oh, may there be more. 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 Where there is hatred, may there be love. Where there is sadness, may solace come. May there be peace, Lord, where there is war. Where there is love,
May there be more. Haribol!